a quick bit on redemption arcs, right? Because obviously, you know, like we like to discuss heroes and villains to a certain extent, right? In DC Comics, right, and the Justice League show and the film, there's a character called Vandal Savage, right? I think it is Randall or Vandal Savage, right? And he's almost a meta-human, a superhuman, right? But he's not a hero or a villain per se. He's just a figure, kind of like Lex Luthor, right? But the difference is with this guy, right? He's immortal, and he's lived through all the ages. I think like his origin story is basically caveman times. A meteor hits the earth, he finds the meteor and he lays next to the warmth of it, right? Now that warmth makes his genetics change and he becomes immortal, right? But you can look at that meteor metaphorically as information, knowledge, right? He was warmed by the heat of knowledge, right? That side. He goes on through time, right? And he outlives all of his people, and he sees every generation and every iteration of human beings, right? So he's lived multiple different lives as an immortal would, right? Now, in these multiple different lives, he's been the good guy and the bad guy, right? Through all of them. And at one point in DC Comics, or in the Justice League film or show, I can't remember which one it was, right? The world is ended. One of the multiverses of the worlds is ended, right? And he's the last person left. Superman ends up in that alternate reality for some weird reason anyway, right? But he meets up with this Savage guy. And at the point he meets the guy, he's like, you're such and such, right? You're this bad supervillain, right? And the guy's like, yeah, I am that guy, but this is the future, right? And I'm also this guy, right? The guy that's building the time machine with all the information and recultivating the earth back to how it's supposed to be, right? He's trying to save the planet which he probably helped destroy, right? But that's a redemption arc and an origin story that's super interesting. If you ever go and check that out, you can look at that character metaphorically as not only secret societies in a person, right? Because there's different iterations of him through time, right? But also people's mythology as their gods, and also metaphorically as in the personification of knowledge, right? He's neither villain or hero, but he's been the bad guy and the good guy all throughout history in different times and different events, right? So his name's either Randall or Vandal Savage, but that's a good villain or hero, or however you want to look at it, character to look at with their redemption arc, right? Where they start to, the shit they get up to, and then where they end up at the end, right? He ends up, I think he destroys the world at some point and he saves the world at another point, right? So it's an interesting thing to look at.